It's finally here. Let's talk about it. The Royal Rumble 2025. Sorry for background noise. I just got stuff done. But yeah, Royal Rumble 2025, huh? Probably in the history of the Rumble, I never seen such a divided opinions of the Royal Rumble. Like, especially on the outcome, like, you could find more diverse opinions of. Now, the overall show, I feel, was really entertaining for the most part. Like, this was a mostly pretty good Royal Rumble. Like, this was like, at least it kept me entertained from throughout most parts of the show. And this made it to the most enjoyable Rumble show that I've seen in years, honestly. Because the recent year has been a pretty rocky period. So, yeah, so this Rumble show made it up and so much more. So, yeah. So, it's finally here. It's a bit late to do this, but we have to talk about it. Let's start off the 2025 Royal Rumble with the Women's Royal Rumble that beforehand had a Stephanie McMahon Rumble. That was very brief. So the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, I think like out of the two Rumbles this year, this was kind of the weaker. This was pretty much the weaker one. And then you'll say, "God, this was pretty much the weak." Like, This is probably the hardest match out of any of this card to review because I don't necessarily hate this Rumble match, but I don't know. Like, there were a lot of shots where it was pretty blah, and I kind of got bored. Like the early mid portion, like, okay, Io Sky Liv Morgan started out 1 and 2. That was pretty cool. But when you get past that, there was nothing that. And Roxanne Perez number 3, that was cool. But after that, there was nothing you could really sink your teeth in. There was really nothing much there. Also, like, this was. At times in this match, it felt really dragging. The intervals between the numbers felt it went on for an extremely agonizing amount of time, and that kind of killed the flow of the match to me. Like, it didn't really. I think things started to get interesting with number 21 hit and Alexa Bliss, after 2 long years being absent, she was back, and I I I watched it as it happened, and I was like, that was fucking awesome because indeed this is what's awesome to see Alexa Bliss after there was much discussion heading in, like, was she going to resign or not if she's coming back? I knew even if there supposedly contract disputes, there will eventually be a deal in place, and Alyssa will come back, and lo and behold, she's back. Royal and got pretty much a stone cold pop in this match. Like, That crowd fucking erupted when Alyssa came out, like, and it was like I said, it was an awesome moment to see. And that really what made the Rumble match for me was that moment of Alyssa coming back. Even if I didn't like this match, that what made the Women's 2025 Royal Rumble for me was that. And you had some NXT entrants here like Jada Parker and Lash Legend, and I gotta say about Lash Legend, like she has some big time potential on the main roster if they just use her the proper way. So she's the one to look out. I will say she's the one that you need to look out for in the upcoming years. So then you got some other surprise entrances. You got Trish Stratus. You got Nikki Bella number 30, which I assume I saw her on that Raw on Netflix show. I said, yeah, she's good as to be back, and Lord behold, she is. So yeah, and Trish like look pretty good, even at almost be fucking 50. She can hang with the younger generation. So she look good out there. And then you have Charlotte from number 27. Oh boy. Like, I knew it was bollocks. That, the, and I can't for the life of me what people thought, how people thought that Charlotte being there in the match was gonna be a surprise. Like, this was never going to be a surprise. For me, at least. This was never going to be a genuine surprise. I mean, for fuck's sake, the moment she got injured like a year and a half ago, before this, I even saw some people say 2025 Royal Rumble. See you at next year's Rumble. I heard for some people say that on Twitter a year ago. When talking about when Charlotte coming back, with how the severe the injury was, they knew it was gonna be at this point when she came back. And like, once they started the vignettes of Charlotte returning, all element of surprise went out the window at that point. You knew when that happened, she was going to announce herself for the Women's Royal Rumble, and that's how it happened. But I guess some sentiment with some fans, and honestly, like, the moment she announced herself, like, did you have any doubts of this? And I think that what ultimately killed this Women's Rumble match for me. Like, any amount of suspense that you may have had when you watch the closest stretch, they didn't give you any hint of doubt that Charlotte was winning. I mean, like, look at the ending portions when they have fucking Nia literally eliminate all the crowd favorites in this, like Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, Stephanie Berkier, she was in this. I think even Julia, like the NXT Women's Champion, like they had her eliminate all those fucking people in the match, just so the crowd won't be so viciously against Charlotte. So they had Charlotte and Nia and Roxanne be the final three in this. And then, like, at that point, we all fucking knew Charlotte was winning. And, yeah, and as much I love the fact that Roxanne was in the final, even got to the final too, which I was happy that she got that endorsement, visually endorsement, that the people in power say she has some big potential on this main roster stuff. So hopefully she will do very well for herself. But yeah, they didn't give you any hint of suspense that Charlotte was and Charlotte eliminated Nia Jax, and they went on to eliminate Roxanne Perez to win the Women's Royal. So yeah, Charlotte Flair won her second Women's Royal Rumble. The first time she won was in 2020, 5 years ago. Now 5 years later, she wants it again, and she won in a was what I thought was kind of a very mediocre Women's Royal Rumble. Like it had some cool surprises, but the first good early to mid was pretty boring, and the final stretches of this were like when they had Nia Jax eliminated, it looks so poorly done. The way she eliminated all these people, it just looks so out of place and felt really flat. And then a very predictable end. So yeah. So and I also feel like if they really want to present Charlotte more likable to the audience, they really want to the make the crowd really get behind Charlotte. Having her win this after all this time being gone just creates all the same fucking problems. And it kind of showed it on the Raw after this, and kind of the SmackDown after when she and Tiffany started had the interaction, which the crowd favored Tiffany way more than Charlotte. So if they really tried to make Charlotte, if their intent was to make Charlotte look really likable and presentable to young them, they failed. They pretty much failed at this. So yeah. So this was an average to mediocre Women's Royal Rumble with the most predictable Women's Rumble that I ever seen. Pretty much. So yeah. Next up is for the WWE Tag Team Championships. 3 Falls, DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa defended their tag titles against Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns. First off, like, it's fucking cool to see Motor City Machine Guns made their, like, first May roster pay per view, and it beat the Rumble in front of this Hero Stadium in Indianapolis. Like, this is gotta be surreal for both of them, and for me to see them on this stage after then tearing up for so many years in TNA, and to see them on the big stage in WWE at a Royal Rumble. That was pretty cool to see, and it was nice to have the tag team titles defended on this show here, since they haven't done jack shit since after WrestleMania 40 last year. So it was nice to see that it got defended here on this Rumble show. So yeah, and for what it was pretty good. You can tell the crowd was spent after watching the first Rumble they saw of of the night. The crowd was pretty sad, but they got it towards the end, I feel. And as the match going on, it progressively got better actually, and yeah, like, and I'm glad it had the proper time that it needed. Even though it was a little bit too short for 2 out of 3 4 standards in my opinion. And and it was expected because the next two matches was going to get a lot of time between each of them. But yeah, this was good to nice to have, and this was a fun little spring match. The finish with the Street Profits that going looks like going to be heels cost Molly City Machine Guns the victory, and the IY retained the tag team titles, and even the Street Profit attacked it. So looks like a three-way feud coming, and I think it will be pretty cool to see them having like a three-way tag team match, maybe a ladder match at WrestleMania. So that should be fun. But again, the 2 out of 3 4 tag team time was it was good. Like the crowd didn't care, but they got it towards the end. So it was nice to see both teams getting time on PLE and such an important show like this. So yeah, so this was a nice, pretty good match. Then you had the ladder match for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes against Kevin Owens in the ladder match. I pretty much enjoyed the hell out of this field. This is probably the best stench of Cody's title reign. This whole story with him and Kevin Owens. They play off so great of one another, and you feel the hatred they you can see the hate feel the hatred they have for one another in this field. And it all culminated here, and wow, like this was a pretty fucking painfully brutal ladder match, but this was a kick-ass ladder match. This was a killer ladder match for the WWE title, and like this wasn't like your typical ladder match. And this is the one part that it kind of different from other ladder matches, that it has some level of freshness in this, because you have some pretty sick bombs like Kevin Owens seems to get a knack to having to take bath bombs in ladders. Like this man is a one sick SOB for it's it's one S like that guy is one SOB because that must suck. And I can't even imagine how he felt after this match, how he felt after the amount of abuse he had. Even Cody, he took a he took a pretty move on the lower rope and onto the ladder, and onto his back. I winced when I looked at. They went back and forth with the brutality, and then with Sami Zayn coming in, and he was kind of brought into this story, and going in by Kevin Owens was saying that he wanted Sami to have his best so he can have his, and then you saw in the match where Sami Zayn almost feeling remorse, staring at Cody, at what Cody was doing, and he was pummeling and beating down Kevin Owens, who was bloody all up at that point. And then the finish with the Alabama Slam through the ladder that was covered in the announcer there and the apron, wow, and you feel the you felt the bomb that he took because my God, that was brutal to see. And Sammy looked around and practically did nothing. And he was just checking on KO as Cody climbed the ladder. And Cody pulled down the Undisputed Belt and the Ring Eagle Belt to hold both hands, and Cody was retained in a great ladder match. One of Cody was his best defenses of the his style way, in my opinion. Yeah, like this was hell of a ladder match. Pretty brutal one. Pretty brutal one. And yeah. And this kind of leads nicely to the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn feud. And I wasn't like at first I'm not like wasn't so keen on it because I feel they pretty much done everything they can do to one another in a feud. Actually, seen plenty of time. But after what I saw the war after this, they got my interest pretty much back. So I can't wait to see how this feud unfolds. But yeah, this was a pretty, pretty great, awesome ladder match for the WWE title at the Royal Rumble. Pretty gruesome stuff, but in a good way, I must say. Then we get the men's Royal Rumble. Can't wait to talk about this one. Now, first off, Rey Mysterio and Penta starting off. That was awesome to see. And good for Penta, like after not being so, after kind after not feeling like he had much value in his last year or so in AEW, or the lack thereof he had, to see him go and like having this kind of push that he's been having and having this performance in this match at the Rumble, like, that was pretty cool to see. And him and Ray being in the ring at the same time was an awesome sight to see. So as soon as I saw, I knew this was going to be good. Once I saw that, those two great luchadors in the ring at the same time, I knew we were in for a pretty treat one. And yeah, like this Rumble, well, I talked about earlier about this Rumble having some very different divided opinions. This match is pretty the center of it. As I saw people wanted the best ever, and then I saw people not like it. Like, honestly, like, the pace in this Rumble pretty made this everything because they had some fun spots, like, early on that the Women's Rumble didn't quite have. But here, like, you saw that there being some cool surprise, like some nice spots, like, like you saw that when Chad Gable hit, and then Carmelo Hayes, and then Braun Breaker hitting spears and one to Metal to Gable, like, and like even I show speed. And while I don't particularly care about him, his spot in the Rumble was fun as hell. And oh my fucking God, the spear. The spear that Braun gave to Aisha Speed was the most gruesome spear that I have ever seen. And I watched all Spears wrestling, even the Goldbergs of the goals of the world. Like this spear was out of this world because my God, that must have hurt like a son of a bitch. That was painful, but yeah, and they got nice use out of speed to get over one of the newer guys, the younger guys like Braun Breaker and even Otis. I think he got dumped and threw all his spear to the announcer table. That was fun shit. That was fun shit. And it got like it got and it's got Billy all it and progressive build it up. They build this run. You had Jacob Fatu coming in, start wrecking house, eliminate people left and right, and Joe Hendrick came out as a surprise entrant at number 50 as the TNA World Champion. That was awesome. Like even Roman Reigns, like I did not expect him to come in this number 16. Like wow. So yeah, like wow. And and when he, and but he came in and his interactions with everybody in this moment was pretty awesome. Like he was one of the highlights in this Rumble, in my opinion, was Roman interaction with Penta and him even interacted with Joe Henry for a bit. I was like, and then his interaction with Braun and Braun spitting the lights out of Roman. That was awesome. Before he nearly got dumped by Roman out of the match, but he got at least his leg into Roman, so that was awesome again to see that. And it started building, and then you had the big stars: John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. You even saw AJ Styles coming back. That was I missed him. So that was nice to see. Um, I feel this is where it kind of got dragged a bit. Like, you had Dominic Mysterio, LA, Damian Priest, and everything, who didn't really play a part of this match as you think he would have. And then Logan Paul. That's when it kind of dragged out a bit, like, and yeah, and it kind of went all over the place. Like, oh boy. So you came down to the final stretch. The final stretch was Jey Uso, John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles. If I say it? No, it was Jay, John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Logan Paul. Those were the final six. Yeah. So Reigns and Seth Rollins, they started going at it. They were going at it, and they were about to eliminate one another. Then CM Punk eliminated both of them. And then fucking Logan Paul eliminates CM Punk. I was like, oh shit. I got burnt again. This was the second year I predicted CM Punk to win. And he got eliminated. Like, not even in the final three. Not even, like, in the final stretch. He was dumped out pretty fucking early, which was fucking insane. At least the aftermath with Rollins and Reigns and Rollins curse stomping the shit out of Roman to the floor, and the interaction between all each other, Seth, Roman, Punk, that was awesome. I think that was the best part of this match in my opinion. And things might set up for all three of them each other at WrestleMania. That is the plan. And then you got probably the weirdest stretch of a final people in this match. You had John fucking Cena. You had Logan Paul and you had Jey Uso, who honestly I forgot was still even in this match. Honestly. So you have Cena going the the double AA, the super AA that he does to with two people on it. He tried to do that. Although if you saw it clearly, Jay put himself in this. Like Cena was he didn't even do much to Jay. Jay just went through the with a spot. It was so bad. It was so ridiculous. But yeah, so Jay super kick Logan, then Cena eliminates Logan Paul. Then we got Johnson and Jey Uso. Now, part knows of this. I knew something was up when Jay was in the final straight and being the final three Johnson. Because I said going into this, Cena had to not win this Rumble. Like, I knew that if Cena is going to be in the Shaver match, he couldn't win this match point blank. But then when I saw Jay with him, that is when it was kind of like, huh? But then he eliminated Logan. So it was like, if they were gonna have Cena win, wouldn't it make sense for it to have it be with Logan? Who's a heel? But like, and then when you do this, it kind of, like something was up when I watched it at the time because I didn't quite actually think they would do it. I didn't think they were ballsy enough to have main event Jey Uso win this entire thing. So that was number one. Number two, like, for the people wanting John Cena to have his final Mania match be in the main event, I don't know if it's okay, the Rumble is maybe a cover up or something, but watch this ending, this final two stretch of the Rumble. Look how fucking slow that motherfucker is. Do you want him to main event after watching his performance? Now granted, he had, like I said, this is a Rumble match, so it was kinda easy to cover up for his clear lack of his clear ring rust in this. But look how slow he is in the strides. He was so off in this. And that's probably a reason why he's retiring this year because yeah, you can tell this is the end. The end is nearly for him because some of the strides he did, he looked pretty kind of off in this. And it was so striking to see him at the same time after him having all these big matches in his career. To see him like this, pretty jarring. Even as someone who can't stand John, who can't stand Cena, like even watching it's kind of jarring. Like wow, he is really getting fucking old. So yeah. So they did the final two stretches. They went back and forth. They ran to the apron. They started going. Cena was about to do the AA. Then Jay Callis pushes John Cena through the apron, off the apron, and Jay fucking Uso. Jay Uso wins the men's 2025 Royal Rumble and is going to WrestleMania to pursuably face Gunther for the world title. He pretty much says it in the press conference after this. By the time you watch it, by the time you watch it, they may have confirmed it. So, yeah, Jay Uso. Oh boy, and this immediately sent the entire wrestling world into a whirl of frenzy. Like January, it was felt the feeling of what the fuck we just witnessed here. Like they had him win of all people. Like none, you won't find any people that have Jey Uso in their bingo card for Royal Rumble winner this year. Like, this was a genuine surprise. Probably the most shocking outcome winner ever to a Royal Rumble that we have seen in history. Like, talk about surprise Rumbles. Like, this is it. Like clearly he was not built like he felt he could win this Rumble. You saw all the big names were pushed, like Roman, Cena, Punk, said they were all famous. But not Jay. I mean, the fucking guy lost a world title match to Gunther a week prior to this. And now he comes into the Rumble and eliminates John Cena to win the Rumble. And it went through a whole shitload of it. Mostly kind of negative towards this outcome. They being Jay over to John Cena. Now, here's the thing with Jay. Personally, would I have him win the men's Royal Rumble? No. Honestly, no. Like, if you were gonna do this, like, could you have proper build-up? Like, I think the root of the issue with Jay winning the Rumble is like, it felt like there was no proper build-up to him for Jay to get to this spot and this point in time. You kind of just basically doing it for the fuck all of it just to do something different. And just because you could do something different or freshen up something, that doesn't quite mean you have to always do it. And I feel like with Jay, and with his Mania match looming with Gunther, like, you kind of pull yourself to a corner, like, okay, like, when doing this match again, after just doing it a week prior to this, now you're getting to a situation where either Jay being stupid and the whole premise of this moment looks stupid, or Jay winning and maybe potentially hurting Gunther's momentum. And yeah, like, and when you look those situations like this where it came an issue. Like, yeah. So there is that point. So for that point, I want to have him win. But am I angry or pissed at him? Not even close. Would I rather have Cena win it? Absolutely fucking not. You, you just couldn't have Cena win here. I'm sorry. Like people watch the ads for the Elimination Chamber, which is the next PLE. He's all over the fucking advertisements and shit. So for that point, he couldn't win this match. Period. And honestly, with his whole streak being he's not, with his whole story of being not as good as he once used to be, and is trying to win a match as he hasn't won in 2,400 plus days shit. With him going that story, why would you have him win his first match of his retirement tour straight up in this time? You kind of burning through a story. So, I honestly I want to have seen. I won't even want to see in the main event. I don't even need Cena in the main event of this year WrestleMania because I don't even think that's the time or even the right story for him to gain this spot. Honestly, they should just go with, I don't know, Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk and do Rollins Roman on top of that. Cena could face I don't know, Logan Paul. Logan Paul honestly doesn't excite me. Honestly, I would give his match to Drew McIntyre. I think they could play off nice to one each other. So yeah, so but I don't need Cena main event. So that's why I feel some hate to this ending of the run doesn't feel as warranted because it mostly felt like outrage that they prefer John Rainey over Jay Rainier. And I think that's kind of where I had to pump the brakes. If you look at Cena's story of and what may led to this year in his farewell tour, straight up, you couldn't have a win. And honestly, the way the finish played out, the crowd pretty much loved the hell out of it. They were cheering for Jay. They were jeting all over the place after the show ended. So I couldn't really be that mad. So he wouldn't. So Jay winning the Rumble wouldn't be my first choice, but it wasn't by any means the worst choice. I mean, I don't know, fucking Logan Paul, Karrion Cross, the Miz, any one of those would have been much worse choices than Jay. And to Jay's credit, he's still popular enough and he's managed to still get over despite not having the the most momentum behind him. He still had the crowd. He still has crowd GT for him, cheery for him, and has managed to stay some charm personality into him. So yeah, so in a way, I want to have done this, but I'm happy for Jay because he's been putting the work for the last few years with the bloodline story he had with Roman Reigns and this runs that he has had. So wasn't the biggest fan of his WrestleMania match with his brother Jimmy. That's self-explanatory. But for this year, I'm happy for Jay. So yeah. So that closes out this Rumble. I was pretty much the best Rumble match in many years for me. I enjoyed plenty of it. Just like I enjoyed this Rumble show. So, yeah, this was probably the best Rumble, overall Royal Rumble shows that I've seen in years. So, yeah. So, I was pretty much entertained throughout most of this show. So, yeah, that's gonna be it for this Rumble. So, this was a great show, I think, and that thumbnail that I choose, I was gonna pick another one, but when I saw the image, I thought that was funny, and I had to pick it for this video. So yeah, that's the reason I put that thumbnail. So that is it for my Rumble review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like this video if you haven't. Subscribe. Tell me what you thought about the Royal Rumble and the winners each of the women's and the men's in the comment section below. As always, I'm Jason Marinez, and I approve this message.